Happy Wednesday, folks, and welcome to Madcat's Musings Playoff Edition as we get set for the USL Championship playoffs, which take place starting on Saturday for the Eastern Conference. We're going to preview all four playoff games in the East that are going to be taking place on Saturday. Of course, big time preview for our match against the Tampa Bay Rowdies coming this Saturday from Keyworth Stadium. 7 o'clock kick for that one. Tickets right now are 70% full. That's right. Keyworth's at 70% capacity. Get your tickets now if you want to be down there. If you can't be down there, usual outlets will have the game for you. WKBD, Channel 50, ESPN Plus, and CBSDetroit.com for those in the state of Michigan, for those that cannot be able to make it down the match. But hey, if you're inclined on coming to the match on Saturday, suggest you get your button gear now and get those tickets, because this place will sell out Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening for Detroit City's first playoff game since 2021. When you think about it, yeah, because the USL, it was the NISA playoffs. We were already in, thanks to winning the fall championship the previous October at Keyworth Stadium, and we were essentially given the finals bid. But the semifinal was played Wednesday beforehand, in which LA Force won, and of course, everybody knows what happened that day. All you City followers know the old goal made its ugly appearance, but this time for the LA Force. LA Force loses by a score of 1-0. NISA champions Detroit City FC on that afternoon. It was July 3rd, I believe it was, back in 2021, I believe. Yes, it was. It was on the July 4th weekend down at Keyworth Stadium. But that was our last time in the playoffs. So speaking of playoff previews, I'm going to bring you a nugget for Saturday for Soccer Night in Detroit. Just let me tell you. Let's get into this year's playoffs. We'll start first with a, let's say, the 2-6 or 2-7 matchup. And it's a key 2-7 matchup here. Takes place at 6:30 on Saturday night. It is between the Charleston Battery and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. The proverbial pain in the ass to the Charleston Battery, the Riverhounds are. And of course, we're due in for a great battle between these two clubs. It always is. It always has been in the USL Championship. Going into the game, Charleston's been unbeaten in their last 12 games. Their form is 2-2-1 in their last 5. Pittsburgh's been on a roll. Haven't lost in 5 matches. 4-1-0 in the last 5 on that run of theirs. As Bob Lilly got them kicking in at the right time, we shall see. Of course, the players you got to watch on both of these clubs, obviously. Nick Marcanic, top of the head, 28 goals scored. Best single season performance in USL Championship history. But he's going to go up against a goalkeeper for Pittsburgh by the name of one Eric Dick. He won the Golden Glove Award for USL Championship this year. Played in 26 matches, had 14 clean sheets, a 7.23 rating on the FOTMOB for the goalkeeper there. But as far as Pittsburgh goes, all eyes will be on one Edward Kizza. He's become the goal scorer to go to for Bob Lilly's side. As you know, last year losing Albert Dequa to Rhode Island FC. Now he becomes the main goal scorer. He scored 12 goals this year and had 1 assist for a 6.79 rating in 33 matches for the year for Pittsburgh. Another guy to watch out for amongst the players that are on Pittsburgh is E2. E2 only had a couple goals, had a couple assists on the year too, played in 31 matches, but he is a facilitator and could give the ball to Kiza whenever needed as well. Mertz, who played in the last game, 3 goals and 5 assists. Robbie Mertz has come on as of late for Bob Lilly's side for the Riverhounds. Meanwhile, Charleston Battery, everybody knows about Nick Marcanic and his goal scoring prowess, but he has a partner in crime in this, and that would be one M.D. Myers. M.D. Myers scored 14 goals in 33 matches on the year for a 7.08 FOTMOB rating. And of course, these guys can't get the these guys can't get the ball without a great facilitator. That would be one Aaron Malloy. 2 goals and 3 assists in 27 matches. That trio right there will probably be the key for Charleston to hold off a strong Indy side. The back line, though, you got DeSantos, Smith, and Segbers, plus Grimwith and Neth. That could pose a lot of problems for Pittsburgh going into that game on Saturday night. But it is going to be interesting. It's a very interesting matchup. And personally, I did not want to play Pittsburgh when it came down to it, and now Charleston has to do that, and it could not. And it could be a hard time down at Patriots Point for Charleston Battery in that match. And of course, we shall see what happens there. But yeah, they haven't been getting any contributions from Myers or Marcanic. They're going to need them, I think, in this game for them to take an advantage over Pittsburgh there. Let's go over the head-to-head overall. Let's see, for this year alone, June 8th, it was a 0-0 draw between the two clubs in Charleston, and then Pittsburgh came away with a 2-0 victory at Highmark Stadium. Kiza and Mertz were your goal scorers in that contest. So, not an easy out for Charleston Battery in their first game of the playoffs. Taking a look at the 1-8, though. I've been hearing stuff about that 1-8 game because, Rhode Island's form as of late. Rhode Island has one loss in their last 5 games. In fact, they're 4-0-1 in their last 5 games. But you're going into the juggernaut, a team that hasn't lost in 6 matches. They have won the last 4 previous matches with North Carolina FC, whether they've been the Railhawks or the new incarnation of this club, unbeaten in 7 home games. This place is a fortress, Lynn Family Stadium, and we all know the players. We all know the game when it comes to Lou City. Wilson Harris being the top goal scorer of the team, 19 goals on the year, only second to Marcanic in the USL championship goal scoring race there. Damian Laws, great goaltender there. 9 clean sheets, 2 of 5 in save penalties for a 6.73 rating. The back line, Sharpie, Adams, Sean Tosh, and even their midfielders, Davila and Winder. And, this is one club that is a juggernaut in this league, and there is a reason why they have dominated at home. And there is a reason why they dominated at home as far as the league. I mean, number 1 at home all year long. They only had 1 loss, but now North Carolina is going to come in there now and try to spoil things here. As I mentioned, they have won 4 out of their last 5 on this run to, get themselves in a position to play this game. However, it's not going to be that easy for them provided they will be playing at Lim Family Stadium there. Um, Want to go back to the two matches. Lou City won on June 8th by a score 2-1. August 31st was a wild, wild, wild game at um, Cary, North Carolina, and you had Olks Anderson scoring, DaCosta scoring, Adams with the own goal in the 40, or third minute of stoppage time there. But yeah, that was probably one of the wildest games. In fact, it was the wildest game of the year, as far as USL Championship goes. But yeah, Wilson Harris scored 2 goals in that game. Jansen Wilson also scored for uh, and, twice in that game as well for Lou City. So Lou City's got a lot of weapons. Obviously, with North Carolina, you look at their roster. Olex Anderson, probably one of the go-to guys for that club. He needs to have a huge day uh, for them to win this game. Could I see this being as low scoring as it was in June? Possibly, but if it's low scoring as it was in June, I don't see North Carolina getting out of Lim Family Stadium with a victory tonight. Some people saying with the form as of late by North Carolina that they could come in and pull off the upset, but I think I'm not going to say Louisville's lucky that they didn't get Pittsburgh. I'm not going to say that because of the simple reason that they're going to play who's out in front of them, no matter what, and they're going to do their best to try to disrupt you, frustrate you, and make it a bad day for you. It's pretty much what they're set out to do. They're out for one thing, and that's getting that third star on the crest. So I'd say it's a good way to start. I'm thinking on this one. I didn't give a prediction of Charleston Pittsburgh, but let me save the predictions until after I preview all three games prior to this one, or prior to ours. Let's go with the third game on the slate for the Eastern Conference that night. Indy 11 takes on Rhode Island FC. Indy 11 has been struggling as of late. You look at the form, 2-2-1, including the loss to Tampa Bay last Saturday. But for the most part, they have been unbeaten in their last 5 home games. However, let's look at the matches that Indy 11 has had in the last, over the last month. 2-0 loss to North Carolina FC down at Cary. 3-1 victories over 3-1 victory over El Paso. 4-0 victory over Miami FC. 1-0 victory over Loudoun United. 3-2 victory over Birmingham Legion. Notice a pattern with those teams? Those teams aren't in the playoffs, folks. So they're getting chopped. They're chopping up the bad competition, which you should do if you're supposed to be a playoff team. However, they go down to Tampa Bay and lay a goose egg on Saturday night. The defensive struggles have been real with this team ever since their loss to the Open Cup, and that was way back. Oh God, I'm looking for the result there. Back on August 27th. Ever since then, 1-1 draw to Pittsburgh, 0-0 to Hartford Athletic. Obviously, they beat El Paso and Indy or Miami FC, losing to North Carolina SC, draw against Louisville at home, draw against Detroit City, and then losing to the Tampa Bay Rowdies. This team's not in good form right now, and it's going to be up to players like Williams and let's see, it's going to be up to players such as Romario Williams and also Blake as well, to Jack Blake, Augustine Williams as well, Guinzotti. It's going to be up to those players to, step it up a little bit, and especially at home. And I mean, going back to the preview of this one, they said that they've been unbeaten in their last 5 home matches. That includes some draws there. Rhode Island's not going to be an easy out. We can tell you this: they have not lost in 6 matches, 3-2-0 in their last 5 matches. And the first person you got to think of when you talk about them, right at this juncture, is Albert Dequa, 10 goals this year. Noah Fusen with 8 goals this year. Frank Nodarzi with 6 goals. Koki Vegas has been solid in net for Rhode Island. 6 clean sheets, 1 of 2 on save penalties. He's been solid. Played 24 matches. Expect him in net on Saturday night down in Indy. But I think Indy could be in for a hard time in this one because of the fact that the Red Guns need to score, and if they don't score, and they're giving up goals like crazy, like they did Saturday night down in Bradenton, this could be a very, very difficult night. All right, let's go to the main match at hand, the main event. Detroit City, Tampa Bay Rowdies. Last time these two teams played, that was a 3-2 victory for Detroit City. Detroit hit them hard and hit them fast. Devin Amundsen with a goal in the 3rd minute of play. Ben Morris gets 2 goals in the second half of play. Goal by Manuel Arteaga late in the game didn't even matter. But also in that game as well, Bub equalized. But like I said, Detroit came right back in the second half. 2 goals by Ben Morris sealed the deal in that one. And Detroit with probably one of their best performances of the year. 12 shots to 3, even though Tampa Bay peppered them. And in net for that game for Detroit City FC that night at look at the lineup. The goaltender that night in net for Detroit City, Carlos Saldana. Carlos Saldana will probably be in net on Saturday night as well. And of course, that back line of that night was pretty solid as well. Brett Levi's, who was not injured at the time, he's been having issues with the injury. We don't know what his status is going to be come Saturday night. But now you add in players like Michael Bryant, Alex Villanueva, who's been very good on the wings as of late. That solid back four, Detroit City, will cause some problems for Tampa Bay on Saturday. Cal Jennings, Manuel Arteaga, obviously your 2 big goal scorers there for Tampa Bay. But you got to remember, other guys that are going to get contributed in there. Nick Moon, who got the equalizer back at Keyworth Stadium on July 6th. He could be a factor. Bub, who equalized there. But, it's not just Arteaga. But this is a team that has been very much struggling defensively. And that's how you can tell when you look at the form between both these squads here. Tampa Bay right now, 1-1-3 in their last 5 games. They have been struggling big time defensively. And I have to say, I mean, it's going to be a very hard time for them to even, think of trying to get a victory at Keyworth Stadium on Saturday night. Very tough draw for them. I think it's going to be an easy slam dunk. Detroit's playing in great form right now. Obviously topping off the big dogs in their last 9 matches, including wins over the top seeds, Louisville City and New Mexico United. So these are teams that are, shall we say, they are, they haven't been playing. They haven't been playing some slogs. I mean, yeah, okay, we played Miami FC. We beat them 3-0. Big deal. But, and in Monterey Bay, we beat them 2-0. But we went down to Patriots Point, even things up with Charleston Battery. So, Detroit City has been, they are, like I said, they're on a good form right now, and Tampa Bay is on a bad form. This is the example of, you're only good as your form. is right now. And right now, Tampa Bay's form is not all that great, despite winning over Indy 11 by a score of 3-0 on Saturday night. That might have been their blessing. That might be the momentum they need to get into the playoffs. But will it result in victory? I don't know. We shall see there. But we'll find out on Saturday night. Okay, time for some predictions here. As far as the Charleston Pittsburgh goes, you never count out a Bob Lilly team. Never. If they can contain Nick Marcanic, if they can contain MD Myers, get a couple goals from Kizza, or maybe even a goal, and to just clamp down defensively like a Bob Lilly team should, I see them moving on. I'm thinking 1-0 in this one, and I'll take Pittsburgh with the upset down in Patriots Point. North Carolina, Lou City. You can't stop the Juggernaut. I don't think you can, and I think they're going to be focused as much now as they are trying to get that star on their crest. I say that Lou City comes away victorious, probably a 2-0 victory down there. I mean, it's not going to be as wild as the last game was. I think Lou City's going to shut them down, and they're going to shut them down hard, and it's going to be a clean sheet for Damian Laz on that night. Indy 11, I don't see him getting past this one, folks. I think Rhode Island's focused. They're ready to go. I think their mindset on going up, and they don't have to go far. They just have to travel down I-70 or whatever it is. They just have to go down a little ways for their next matchup. So I don't see Indy 11. I mean, their defensive struggles are going to continue, and it's going to be a rough night for them. I see Rhode Island coming away with a 2-1 victory at Michael Carroll Stadium. Okay, the big dog. Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Keyworth Stadium in Detroit, in Hamtramck. What can you say? I mean, Detroit's on a roll right now. I mean, they are flat out on a roll. They can play with this team. They have beaten this team at Al Lane Stadium. This place is going to be on fire, folks. Keyworth Stadium, as I mentioned earlier, 70% to capacity as far as tickets go for this one. The place is going to be loud. It's going to be obnoxious. Tampa Bay, you may think they may not be rattled. I mean, they lost the championship at home with their faithful in attendance. They lost to Orange County, and that was back in, let's see, that was 21, I believe it was. Tampa Bay, the struggles are real, folks. Struggles are real. Lost 3 out of their last 5. And when you go back, the form hasn't even been all that great prior to that. Losing to Charleston 3-1, losing to Birmingham Legion 2-0. I'm sorry. Winning 2 out of your last, or 3 out of your last 10 games is not good form. I mean, one of those wins being Miami FC, a 2-0 victory. This is not a very good Tampa Bay team, and I think Detroit City could have an easier time with that. As I said, I expect Saldana in net Saturday night. I expect the back 4 of Villanueva, Bryant on the wings, Stephen Carroll, your captain, with Devin Abumensa. As far as the middle goes, keep going what you're doing. Le Jope and Maxi Rodriguez providing the heat in the middle, and I could see trying to think James Murphy being in the lineup too. Don't have to worry about yellow cards because all discipline's gone. And Connor Rutz, I expect him to fill in the void as well. So you're talking probably about a 3-5-2. I'm trying to think of who I could. Reese Williams as well. I'm going to say a 3-5. It's probably going to be 4-5-1. I want to say, yeah, 4-5-1. Might go to a 4-5-1 formation. Might end up being a 3-5-2 formation as well, because I mean you're going to see both your wings try to play more up front, or you're going to see probably Villanueva trying to play more up front, and then Michael Bryant trying to stick towards the back a little bit. Um, I think Detroit is going to be solidly good, and and they're going to have at least 7,000 loud, obnoxious fans behind their back on Saturday night. Final score: Carlos gets a clean sheet. It'll be kind of ruts, and I'm going to go with Elvis Amo for the second goal of the night. Maybe a third. Laurent Koscielny in stoppage time. Detroit's going to dominate this game. I can't see Tampa Bay getting out of here unscathed or unblemished or anything like that. It's going to be a rough night for them. I see a 3-0 game. Ruts. I'm going with Elvis Amo and Koscielny late to seal the deal. And Detroit City will move on to the possibly hosting Pittsburgh the following week. So that's it. That's all here as we broke down the first weekend of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Other matchups going on. Let's take a look at the West real quick. Let's see. Friday night, we got Las Vegas taking on Sacramento at Cashman Field. That's a 10:30 kickoff that night. Saturday, as you know, there will be two games. A 2 o'clock start between Memphis 901 and Orange County FC. So your day starts early on Saturday, your playoff day. And then everything will be done by the time, by the time we're done at 9 o'clock, everything will be done at Keyworth Stadium. As let's see, hopefully we'll be done. Colorado takes on Oakland Roots. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff there. And then on Sunday, it will be New Mexico hosting Phoenix Rising. That'll be a 8 o'clock kickoff Sunday night in the Western Conference. So, but main thing is, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet for Saturday's match at Keyworth, make sure you do. Keyworth is at 70% capacity right now. They're going to sell out. They're going to sell out. We're going to come into a sellout crowd Saturday afternoon. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, SeatGeek.com. Also, Detroit City Store will have some tickets available as well. You can walk down there. It's over on Griswold, over in the Capitol Park area. Make sure you get those tickets because they are going to be sold out by Friday. I'm going to guarantee you that. I'll put that as a guarantee. These things are going to be gone by Friday. Friday afternoon, maybe. Or I'm not saying Friday morning. Probably about Friday afternoon. Those things will be gone. And we'll have a packed house Saturday night at Keyworth Stadium. Can't make it down, as I mentioned, ESPN Plus, WKBD Channel 50 in Detroit, CBSDetroit.com for those inside the state of Michigan that want to watch the match as well that are outside the Detroit area. So until Saturday night when me and Steve break it down from Keyworth Stadium, keep your feet in the ground. Keep reaching for the galaxy.